comenzó todo como una broma, porque yo entré a IMDb, la página esta de las películas, buscando el que es llamado el mejor stream de todos los tiempos, ¿no? El mítico stream de Speed, y yo me puse a ver esto porque estaba aburrido, y acá me salió esto, y dije, ¿qué onda con esto? Esto es el Minecraft. Vi 3 minutos del video y dije, lo voy a ver en stream.
Whatever you do at the crossroads, don't turn left. This is
¡Qué miedo!
the book that Avery claims he did not write. 2 weeks ago, a YouTube channel called Avery the Mayo uploaded a YouTube video titled Weird Book
200%.
where he shows us a mine that supposedly he never built. Inside the mine is a chest that Avery did not place, and inside the chest is a book.
Este chest igual se me hace muy... no sé por qué, o sea, siento que es como muy poco real.
Inside the book is a very strange message. Whatever you do at the crossroads, don't turn left. Don't be fooled, it's listening. You can't outsmart it, it's listening to me. It's watching me.
Esto es medio la típica, ¿no? La típica... Esto es medio de mod de Minecraft, de mod de terror. Me está escuchando, está justo detrás de mí, me está persiguiendo.
It isn't from this world. At the crossroads, don't turn left. 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 Over and over, followed by a sequence of numbers.
No mires atrás, bro, que ahí está.
That's it. It seems impossible that a whole mine just appears in your world without your knowledge, but Avery explains in the description of the video that the laptop he's playing on is from a storage locker. It already had Minecraft installed, and this world...
Ah, yo no presté... esta parte del video la vi y no presté atención a eso. Claro, como que la compró usada, digamos, la computadora, y ya tenía ese mundo puesto.
But when Avery first loaded it up, it was just a normal world. He only now discovered this mine a few hundred blocks from his house. So, in that case, what is this book? The contents are strange, and it's not evident what they refer to. If anything, they just sound like some crazy rambling. But the numbers at the end are clearly some sort of code, so maybe we can solve it and figure out what this book is talking about. Except we can't. The numbers go higher than 26, so it's not any alphabetical code. There are 4 sections, not 3, so it isn't coordinates. And in fact, there's not a single cipher that comes up as a good match for this
cipher.
If it is a code, it's unlike any code I've ever seen, and I wasn't able to decipher it. So, is that it? A strange one-off YouTube video and a dead end? Not quite, because for 2 frames at the very end of the video, Avery's inventory flashes a random pattern of blocks.
¡Qué demonios!
And this time, there is a code, because taking the first letter of the name of every block and capitalizing it if there is more than one, you get a string. A string that perfectly matches the length of a Google Drive link, that when you enter, takes you to a folder. And this is where the true mystery begins.
Es una banda. O sea, es como una RG, ¿no? Va, no sé, o sea, supongo que... no sé, ¿el canal ese de YouTube será creado por el chabón que hizo el video? ¿O es tipo, capaz, una de esas típicas ARG de 4chan que lo fueron descubriendo y el chabón te lo va contando como cronológicamente? Eso me da curiosidad. O sea, ¿lo hizo el propio chabón que hizo el video esto? ¿O simplemente está relatando lo que la gente fue descubriendo este juego? 1 hora.
Avery was in the last video, except now he has way more items than he had last time. Presumably this is from his house, and he's come to use this mine in survival as part of this world. The book is now gone from the...
Pasa que no sé, porque el canal es como muy random. Es tipo un canal con 2 suscriptores. Y tipo los videos tienen una visita. Capaz que lo hizo el propio chabón.
But it could be that Avery just burned it because it creeped him out, or it's just this book in his inventory. Regardless, Avery lines up with the other strip mine and begins to start a new one into the wall, but when he does...
Ah, o sea, este es el mismo que subió el primer video.
Finds this.
¿Qué demonios?
Nothing weird, it's just a cave, and Avery walks in to begin exploring.
Ok, nada de lo que desconfiar. ¿Qué es eso?
It's hard to make out, but as he walks closer,
No me pongas un screamer. Ahora me está dando miedo.
grass. This is immediately a red flag because this kind of terrain does not generate in caves. Avery checks underneath it, but there's nothing else either. And when he runs back to grab his torches, he notices yet another patch of moss in the corner of the cave. Again, not natural, but not leading anywhere.
Todos lo vimos,
Only
¿cierto?
when he heads back down the cave does he see it. A tree. Avery approaches the clump of greenery, and there it is. A tree unlike any other oak tree in the entire game. Whatever this is,
Parece como si alguien hubiera puesto eso
Avery
ahí.
backtracks a bit, and we get a better look at this shrub, for lack of a better word. And after some hesitation and circling around it, Avery decides to try mining the tree. And he does. With no problem. It looks just like a normal tree, except normal trees don't generate underground. And it's not the
Sí,
only one.
se me está escapando un detalle, claro. Ay, no prendí las luces.
Into the cave, he passes larger and larger patches of greenery, coming across more shrubs and even more trees, and even more moss. He pauses to talk at one point, but instead of commenting on the trees, he brings up something else. It's weird, we've only seen stone. And I guess he's right, the walls of this cave don't have any diorite, granite, andesite, or ores, but come on, there's a bigger elephant in the room here. At some point though, Avery's wish gets granted.
Ok, si no vamos a hablar de cómo en la cueva se están generando árboles. ¿Qué versión es esto igual? Porque ese...
Turns into terracotta, tough, and deep slate. The greenery gets
o sea, es moderno.
larger and larger, with the trees growing bigger and bigger. Until finally, Avery reaches the end.
Aquí donde las almas descansan. ¡Oye! ¡Pará, amigo! ¡Pará, Davo! Pero pará, amigo, pará.
Avery stops for several long seconds, just taking everything in. The room is a giant cave of green, with strange, unnaturally large trees forming a staircase on the back
Well,
wall.
this is a natural terrain, is it? ¿Y por qué sale esto acá? Acá me parece que se les escapó un error de edición, amigo. Capaz el nombre del jugador era la Cobrix 9.
The floor is covered in a massive field of moss, scattered with the strange trees we saw earlier. Avery slowly heads down the cavern wall, being careful not to take too much damage while maneuvering his way to the bottom. He looks around in awe as he explores the chamber, and from closer up we can see a
No
tunnel
ores
right
though,
between
¿qué le
the
importa?
massive tree gates. Avery searches around the trees for a few minutes, seemingly mesmerized by the build, and we can see that these gates are made of trees stacked on trees stacked on trees, made of spruce, mud, and oak. But the question here is obvious. What is this place? This kind of
¿Quién ha
terrain
hecho esto?
obviously doesn't generate naturally, so who made it, and how does it just appear in Avery's world? Well, if there's any answer to that question, it's through this tunnel, because finally Avery decides to stop sightseeing.
No, no lo hagas, bro, no lo hagas. Solo vete, vuelve sobre tus pasos.
Tunnel, turning to glance behind him every few steps, but of course, nothing is there. The world is set to single player. At least, it seems that way. Until this happens.
Me da miedo, pará.
Something is wrong. It's almost impossible to notice, but at the far edge of the tunnel, the first pair of torches have suddenly been wiped out. Avery stares for a few seconds and continues walking.
¿Por qué no corre? ¿Qué estás jugando en la beta, papá? Corre y saltá.
Another pair of torches is gone.
Se está acercando a ti, se está acercando a ti.
Torches turning off.
La repudría. Pará.
And then another. I don't know what kind of
Ese men que juega como una película.
but I already heard you in the
¡Corre! 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 Me da miedo, me va a asustar, amigo.
I'm not scared of a game.
Me da miedo, amigo. Pues yo entiendo que no, obviamente no va a ser de screamer, no va a salir un que te va a asustar, pero va a salir, se va a dar vuelta y va a hacer pum y va a aparecer un chabón, algo así. ¿Dónde estoy? ¿Dónde estoy? Ese bro que juega como en una película. Literal. Literal, qué pesado, amigo. Nada.
I don't know why I just jumped down. I wasn't scared. But I felt compelled. I've never felt like that in
La
my life.
típica, la típica, la típica.
What is going on here? Things just went from strange to incredibly creepy in a matter of seconds. This doesn't just happen on a normal world, but Avery did
Está bajo el volumen, siento que está re bajito, ¿no?
he got from a storage locker. So maybe this is
Escucha más
just
fuerte
a
el
world
perro
the
que el
old
juego.
owner of this
O
computer
sea, que el video.
created, and it's just some strange adventure horror map. Case closed. Except it's not, because the video files aren't the only thing in this Google Drive folder. If you remember, there's also this PDF, and we see this. My exploration into a strange tunnel I found in my Minecraft world. I've been playing this world for a while and just discovered this. This is my documentation of the search. Notably, when I installed Minecraft, this world came pre-created. Always thought that was a little strange, but I'm not really sure.
Porque era un PDF, una banda. Un PDF. Yeah.
He found this computer in a storage locker with Minecraft installed. Not he installed Minecraft and this world was there.
Es lo que estaba pensando. Dije, hay un error argumental.
Why the conflicting stories? Something you may have also noticed that I can't explain is why Avery's name is now censored. He wasn't censored in the previous videos, but now he's both hidden his name
¡Lo han reemplazado!
and changed his skin, almost like he's hiding from something.
Creo que su nombre era Palm Beach Pete.
This footage, and if you want to figure out what's happening in this world, why it exists, and what it has to do with Avery, we have to keep watching as Avery runs from whatever it is that's hiding in this world. Avery says he has to keep moving, even if he doesn't exactly know why, and the only way to go is down. Avery takes a leap into the giant pool of water before him and swims down into a junction of tunnels. After some hesitation, he burrows himself in the left wall for air before swimming down the left tunnel. He continues to navigate through the dark water, the tunnel getting narrower and narrower, with no end in sight. Until it opens into a giant cavernous room with just enough space at the top to get a bit of air. When Avery descends again, we can see tunnel openings.
¿Cómo se curó? Imagino que igual el video sin cortar estará en el Google Drive o algo así, porque, o sea, porque está cortado. Pero no tiene comida, por lo que vi.
Just tunnels upon tunnels as far as the eye can see. And then he hears it. The same sound as when the whispers played previously. Avery rushes to dig into the wall, and as he blocks himself in, we can hear the whispers again.
Vuelve, vuelve, tienes que volver al agua.
Quieter, but still there, as if they're passing by him. When the coast is clear, Avery digs out. But now what? He has no choice but to gamble on a tunnel and hope it's correct. He scans the walls again, no obvious sign of which one to pick. So finally, he rolls the dice.
Ahí tiene una papa.
The tunnel leads to another junction, and again, after a slight hesitation, Avery goes left.
Estoy demasiado con miedo.
The tunnel continues.
Tengo demasiado miedo, bro.
Narrower and narrower until finally
No, mirá. ¿Qué hay en el cielo? Ah, un aire.
he finds
No,
himself
aquí de vuelta no.
Avery looks around the room, strangely almost peaceful. He's in the middle of a square pond, flanked on all sides by the same uncanny trees. He stares off at the water for a second before towering up and getting a good look around. Nothing but trees as far as the eye can see. For a moment,
Pero ¿por qué no agarras un montón de madera y te vas para arriba que hay una grieta en el techo? O bueno, aunque no lo hubiese, no puedo explicar.
Crafts a boat to get to the center of the lake. Without hesitation, he dives down into the tunnel and plugs up the hole. He makes another trip for good measure, plugging it even further. If this thing comes through here again, it has to break that. But I need to explore. He sails back to the edge of the lake. What it can't avoid doing is loading the chunk. Avery chops a few trees and crafts a
What I can't avoid doing is loading the chunk. ¿Qué dice?
inventory. His plan is simple. Set a trap for the thing following him. But wait.
Una trampa con un hopper y un cofre, o sea, para asegurarse de lootear todo lo que sea que tenga el demonio que lo está persiguiendo.
Did I miss something? Because how does he know that something is following him? Sure, those torches turned off, and yeah, we heard those noises before, but there's actually an even stronger piece of evidence I haven't mentioned. Remember when Avery said this? I already heard you in the cave. Well, it took me a second to figure out what exactly he meant, but then I heard this. It's almost impossible to make out, but on a few separate instances, while Avery was walking,
es como el boss del Sekiro.
Cave, he would randomly pause for a second or two, and
el
now
mono
you
invisible.
know why. He was listening. Every time he paused for just
Referencia a Sekiro, bro, los monos del biombo.
Footsteps on the stone behind him. Stopping just a fraction of a second too late to be quiet. But okay, if something is somehow really following Avery in a single player world, how can he stop it, or at least get it to reveal itself?
¿Por qué
Well,
con
that's
un hopper y
exactly
un
what he's
cofre?
doing right
Nah.
now. Like he said, he needs time to look around and explore this world, but while he's gone, anything can just swim through the hole and replace the blocks to make it look like nothing happened. But if Avery turns down his render distance and puts items in this hopper, if he then goes
Para eso, para ver si se descarga el chunk. Ah, mirá. Ay, pero que es un genio, amigo, el chabón este. ¿Quién es? ¿Pero quién es? El Rich MC el que está jugando el mapa. No, voy a hacer una máquina para que el chunk se mantenga cargado. Que voy a iniciar el proyecto Fractalis. Pará.
He was gone. And then, whatever was following him would be exposed. The trap is set.
¿Qué le pasa,
Now,
amigo? Alto
it's
raro.
time to explore.
Ese amigo que se cree el Rich. Buena música, Buena música. Bueno, sí, creo que lo que pude encontrar son árboles y bueno.
Avery walks through the trees, avoiding the lake so as to not load the chunk. Every inch of this place looks exactly the same. The same gray floor, the same strange trees. Everywhere he looks, there's nothing. Until, just in the corner of the screen, there's a sign. But it's hard to spot, and Avery doesn't seem to see it, and he keeps walking. Then he pauses. Interesting. That's the third sign we've seen so far. What? Where? Third sign? I've only seen this one, but it turns out he's right. Going back and re-watching the footage, just barely hidden in the corners of the screen, are two other signs.
Es un genio este pibe.
Earlier in the recording.
Pero este no, para mí no es el youtuber original, lo reemplazaron. Esta es el demonio haciéndose pasar por jugador, ¿no? O algo así, no sé. Algo está pasando.
Blank, so I don't know what to make of it, but Avery seems to be satisfied and he explains why. These signs all seem to point to one place. Both of these angled ones point in the same direction. And he's right. If you line up a coordinate grid with the location and rotation of the signs, you get this. So he's right, all of them point a certain way.
Triangulación este bro.
You can rarely see from these protagonists by turning the difficulty to peaceful because he ran out of food. Absolutely genius.
Me acaba de llamar genio, porque yo hice lo mismo que él y me llamaron loco.
But with that said, he returns to the lake to check on his contraption. And nothing showed up. Items are still flowing out of the hopper, which would be impossible if anything had loaded the chunk.
Tú eres el del video. Pará, pero si no tiene, o sea, si faltan ítems significa que el chunk estaba cargado. O sea que hubo alguien.
Not
¿Cómo
to
que no?
mention, the blocks are still in the same position Avery placed them to plug the hole. Now that he's shaken off whatever was following him,
Él lo sacó.
he sails back,
Ok.
presumably to find the intersection
Quizás
point
no
with
sea un
the
genio.
signs. But before he does that, he opens up chat and says this. Something is here. What? How? Why is Avery saying that? Why isn't he sending it in chat? What did he see? I don't know if it can hear me. But I'm not taking any chances. The graph.
¿Quién está aquí? ¡El
He
demonio!
didn't just set one chunk for the entity, he set two. Without mentioning anything to us, he placed a grass block next to a block of dirt. In Minecraft,
Ay,
grass
sí.
can't spread if the chunk isn't loaded. The only way that this block is now grass is if something other than Avery loaded this chunk. I'm not scared, but my gut says to keep moving.
Corre, corre, pequeño jugador. Keep moving y te quedas quieto, amiguito.
Maybe I am scared.
O no me matarán en Minecraft. Es que igual, para mí me saca mucho de la ambientación el pensar, tengo miedo. ¿De qué tenés miedo, amigo? Tirá el TF4. Es como si el muñequito del juego fuese la persona real, digamos, pero no lo es. Es difícil.
The other sign was pointed head on.
¿Esto sí tiene copyright? De última, claro, de última... O sea, podés poner el Cine y yo Juan, mutear el juego y jugar como si nada, si no pasa nada. Juego, bro. ¿Qué hace? Tonto este pibe. Ah, te harán. ¿Es el lugar secreto? Oh, Dios mío. Me tengo que ir, bro. Me estás matando. ¿Cómo que me tengo que ir, bro?
walks through a tunnel. A tunnel
Pero no
which
puede
quickly
ser.
turns into a maze. And slowly
Qué triste,
but surely, dead end after dead end, Avery navigates through it.
Avery. Mañana estará en YouTube y tal. Tranquilos, tranquilos. Soy un buen creador de contenido, chicos.
Avery is clearly smart. Smart enough to set a trap, and smart enough to set a backup. But whatever this thing is that's following him, it's smart too. Smart enough to block up the tunnel it entered from. Smart enough to refill the hopper with items after loading the chunk. Smart enough to hide its presence. This world seems to be guiding Avery somewhere. The
¿Fue un
whispers in
engaño?
this tunnel coercing him to enter the cave. The signs pointing to the secret entrance under
Y
the
sí,
cave. Whatever
vos
this
también.
world is, it's leading Avery. But to what? We don't know. All we do
A la
know
destrucción de su
he
alma.
isn't alone. And finally, Avery exits the maze into another giant room with what looks like a cipher above a door, with 3 levers right in front of it. Avery stares up at it, says he'll need a pen and paper, and blocks up the tunnel where he came from. The footage ends with him staring up at the code, deep in thought. From what I can see, the code atop the doorway looks something like this. It doesn't immediately remind me of anything, and plugging it into a cipher decoder gives me no ideas either. Running each of the candidate ciphers just gives gibberish every single time. Whatever this code is, there's unfortunately no way that I, or Avery, can solve it. The second half of the footage picks up with 17 minutes of just staring at the wall. And then he gets it. Okay, I guess it was solvable. Avery says it's a good poem, but doesn't actually reveal what it said, only that it uses cipher
Es
step,
un
a
demonio.
technique where two ciphers are layered one on top of the other to make a code almost undecipherable. How Avery actually solved it with a pen and paper is beyond me, but the puzzle isn't over yet. There's still this gate, which Avery suspects is some sort of combination lock, but instead of a pen and paper, his solution this time is a bit more... how do I put this?
Pica la puerta.
Efficient.
Y fue, claro. No puedes hacer eso, estás rompiendo una ley del demonio, muere. Y se muere ahí. Y ahí termina el video.
And with that, he's... Wait. Who's Durlord 3? For the first time in this footage, Avery's censor bar
Se
lingers
eligió.
just a second too short, and we get a glimpse of the name. This isn't Avery's name. This isn't Avery's skin. Maybe the reason that we
Sí, ahora te
got
cuento eso.
stories about where this world came from is because the player we've been watching this entire
A veces la
time
respuesta está
isn't
frente a nuestros
Avery
ojos.
at all. But if that's the case, then who is this? The world at the beginning is clearly the same one that Avery was playing on. So what's going on here? If it is Avery on an alt account, why the conflicting stories in the description and the document? And if it's not Avery, then who is this other person and why are they claiming that this is their world they found? I genuinely just don't know, but the only way to find out is to keep watching.
Durlord.
as Durlord
Pasa que no sé
walks
qué...
to the tunnel
Sí,
after
está
the
bueno.
puzzle and finds himself in the village.
¿Una ciudad fantasma? ¡Qué pinche miedo! Mirá, está destruido. ¿Por qué viven debajo de las piedras, bro? Esta fue una civilización que fue enterrada aquí por sus pecados contra los dioses. Ese es el lore. Bien logrado. La fuente de los dioses en el medio de la ciudad esta maldita, mía. Se practicaba el holocausto. Se practicaba como si fuese un deporte. Se practicaba. Esa fuente de los dioses, algo, obviamente, algo va a tener. Qué pinche miedo. La música es una banda. Pero ¿por qué me pone...? ¿Por qué está editado así, amigo? Quiero ver qué hay en la fuente. En las casas no hay nada, obviamente. Sacá, amigo, quiero ver lo interesante. Qué bronca me da. ¿Qué está pasando? Muy de película esto. Creo que no podré dormir después de esto. Creo que no volveré a dormir nunca más. Hijo mío, las aguas de los cielos. Ve a las aguas de los cielos, hijo mío. No hay nada, pa.
It's empty. This village is strange. It's clearly abandoned if the cobwebs and literal holes in the roof didn't make that obvious, and all the chests and containers have nothing inside of them. There's also an interesting amount of yellow in the carpets, beds, and flooring, but wherever Durlord looks, he can't find anything of interest. No lead on where to go or what to do from here. The fountain and statue in the town center is by far the most eye-catching decoration here, but like we can see,
un
it
pequeño ángel.
is empty. There's no path to take from there. So, is this the final area then? The final answer to
claro
what's
que
been
no.
going on with this world and what's been following him? I'm not sure, and clearly Durlord isn't either, since he keeps looking around for anything out of the ordinary, anything that might give him a clue of where to look next.
Pero no fue arriba de la fuente, eso me da bronca. Anda arriba de todo. Muerto. Ahora lo entiendo. Ahora lo veo. Es allí. Es una torre eso, ¿no? Anda esta música, amigo. Qué locura. Como una iglesia. Quedan 10 minutos de video, amigo. ¿Cuándo viene lo más épico? Se había trabado el video. Qué miedo, bro. Aquí viajero, Brian. No. No hay nada. Y... aquí tiene la suerte del mundo este rata. Pica un bloque de por ahí y encuentra una trampilla. Dale, dale, dale. Dale, dale. Pero pará, amigo. Pará, Davo. Pero pará, amigo. Pará. Ahí está su trono. ¡Ay, no! ¿Quién murió ahí? ¡Hay una calavera! La nada misma, pero ahí hay un libro. Un libro muy importante. Te convertirás en el rey.
These idiots are insufferable. They think that devotion will save them. Rest assured, it will not. Not that it will do them any good to believe that anyway. The ones who realized it pretend they didn't. But it doesn't help that there are some of them who truly believe they'll be saved. The king is coming, Maya. If anything, I wager that their king is already here. It's watching me write this. I don't particularly care. I just want this to be done with. The sooner I can leave, the better. He's arrived. I don't know why anyone is surprised to find that out. This is exactly what they were hoping for.
Llegó la destrucción.
I'm going. I'm leaving this here in the rare case someone finds it. If you have found this, I implore you, turn back, disconnect, forget about this world. It's not for you. If you've come here, you must be curious. I know you must want to continue onwards. So I know that this is a heavy ask, but please, do not go any further. For your own good, do not.
Sí, me lo voy a anotar en las cosas que no me interesan. ¿Te imaginas? Ok, y termina ahí el video, no avanza más. Y ahora viene el susto. ¡Oh! Qué retraso. Ok, bro. Fin. Basta, que me da miedo que salga un susto. Ay, güey. Por supuesto, siempre va a encontrar el camino secreto. Tiene un talento. Me da bronca igual que recurra tanto al camino secreto. Me da bronca eso. Me da bronca. Y descubrió que había dos puertas. Podría haber roto y quedarse con una puerta nada más. Tipo, sin haber descubierto la otra, y descubrió las dos. Me da bronca ese recurso de que milagrosamente descubre todas las respuestas. Pero bueno, da igual. ¿Otra vez? Aquí estamos de nuevo. No me asustes, lo único que te pido, amigo. No, me voy a sacar los auriculares. No me quiero asustar, amigo. Aquí estamos. En el fin del mundo. Y ahora es cuando viene la parte mítica, ¿no? Que no vayas hacia la izquierda. Eso se ve normal y ahí se ve todo consumido por el vacío. Obviamente va a ser el lado izquierdo. Lo consumirá el vacío. Y yo me voy a sacar los auriculares porque me voy a asustar. Así corto. Me da miedo, amigo. Te ponen re en tensión. Es una banda. No, me da miedo. No escucho nada prácticamente. ¿Eso que suena que es estática o son...? No, son como susurros, ¿no? Qué pinche miedo, amigo. Está todo negro. ¡No! ¿Otro código secreto? Weird. Sí, bueno, supongo. Qué miedo. No. ¡Oh! ¿Qué demonios? ¡Quítense los auriculares! ¡Se viene el screamer! ¡Qué miedo, amigo! No, está... No. ¡Bravo! Está matando. Y no tiene pico. Claro, no tiene nada. Se le reemplazó el inventario.
Whatever you do at the crossroads, don't turn left. Don't be fooled. It's listening.
Claro, es el origen, es el anterior.
It's listening to me. It's watching me. It isn't from this world. At the crossroads, don't turn left. 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 And the footage ends. Right there. Durlord was the person who wrote the book in Avery's world.
¿Qué te ha pasado?
It shouldn't even be possible that the tunnel led him back to that mine. Durlord found this world on his computer, and Avery found Durlord's old laptop in the storage locker.
¡Ah! Tiene sentido.
But what is this world?
O sea, el chabón le pasó eso y tiró la computadora, digamos.
Most importantly, what was behind those gates? I didn't put that sensor
¿Qué
bar
pasa?
there. That was
Basta,
in the
por
original
favor.
footage. Whatever is behind that black square was enough to drive probably the smartest protagonist I've ever seen into running for his life. Something that a whole village of people was trying to summon. Something that this entire world has been hiding. A king? What does that even mean? I don't know what to tell you, but I can tell you one thing. The code at the end of the book, now with this footage, we can solve it. Each number corresponds to one slot in Durlord's inventory. 1 here and 36 here. Take the first letter of each item, or whatever number is indicated after the dash. From that, we can get this. Run Avery. It's here. Durlord was giving one last warning, hoping that whatever was following him wouldn't see. But how? How would he possibly know that Avery would find this world? There's no way for him to know who Avery even is. Whatever he saw behind those doors, whatever he knows about this world.
Pero es todo final abierto, me estás matando. Quedan 30 segundos de video, no me vas a explicar nada. Morite, amigo, qué bronca me da. Qué bronca, amigo. O sea, vi todo esto para no tener ninguna explicación de nada. Pero me vas a hacer lo mismo, amigo. Va a haber una segunda parte, después una tercera. ¡2 horas! Nah, me está matando.